Coming up on Network Africa, South African Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa elected new leader of the African National Congress. And Uganda's parliament resumes debate over presidential age limit after chaos. And Cameroon separatists kill 4 gendarmes after disputes with Francophone-dominated government degenerates. Hello and welcome to the program. I am BC Adebayo. South African Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has been elected leader of the African National Congress in a close-run vote on Monday that will set a new direction for the country and the scandal-plagued party that has ruled since the end of apartheid. 65-year-old Ramaphosa narrowly beat 68-year-old Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, a former cabinet minister and the ex-wife of President Jacob Zuma.
Cyril Ramaphosa as the new president of the African National Congress.
South Africa's ruling party, the African National Congress, elected Cyril Ramaphosa to be their next president at the 54th National Conference of the party this week. Ramaphosa, who is the party and country's deputy president, had a tight contest against the former African Union Commission's chairwoman, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, with only about 200 votes separating the two candidates. Ramaphosa succeeds South Africa's current president Jacob Zuma, who will still remain in his position as president, if not recalled by his party, until the 2019 election. Analysts say South Africans now care more about their future economic development under the new ANC president.
The ANC is not the government, it is a political party. So the question here is, do we feel that the government as it stands right now is suddenly going to discover new momentum of facilitating job creation and really boosting the economy? I'm not particularly sure, because we are stuck with the same government that we had yesterday for at least the next 18 months. He might, on the ground within the ANC party, then start putting a platform in place, a new manifesto that then says for the next election, this is how we're going to do things differently. But as far as South Africa is concerned, yesterday will be the same as tomorrow.
Many residents said they were excited about Ramaphosa's victory because the new president promised to promote the Reconstruction and Development Program, which amongst many policy initiatives advocates for meeting the basic needs of the impoverished. South Africa will hold its presidential and parliamentary elections in 2019.
And South Africans have been reacting to Cyril Ramaphosa's victory on the streets of Johannesburg. Crowds were celebrating in a local bar in Soweto in support of the new leader of the ANC. To his supporters, Ramaphosa's business success makes him well suited to the task of turning around an economy grappling with 28% unemployment and credit rating downgrades.
Given the battle and the contestation that occurred, and given the ferocity in which each camp was calling each other, I would say the ANC has risen to the challenge of trying to move towards unity and a way of trying to accommodate disparate views. And in a sense, the delegates were sending a clear message that we want to emerge out of this united.
This election could be the making or the breaking of the ANC in 2019. Depending on the volume of the balance of power between internally, depending on whether or not the ghost of Jacob Zuma's faction can still wield power, and depending on the extent to which Cyril Ramaphosa and his grouping are able to impose themselves on the way forward.
I think it was a big relief in the country. It was a big relief for the ANC. There wasn't as much celebration because it was a kind of a stalemate in terms of the two slates. But I think there is consensus in the ANC, sufficient consensus, that Cyril Ramaphosa is the person who is the most likely to take the political party out of its current conundrum of corruption, allegations, of court cases, of state capture. Not that he's perfect, but the understanding is that he is the best placed of the lot who are there among the leaders.
I think the intention going into this conference was, as the theme suggested, was about, a big part of it was about unity. And if you look at how closely the votes came out, the president of the party emerging with the margin of 179 votes, it was really a seriously and highly contested position. The results are in, and a lot of the talk in the post-analysis has been that this has been somewhat of a compromise package that the ANC has managed to emerge from. Whether this means that the president is going to be a lame duck president at the helm of the ANC with the balance of forces split down the middle is a question that's going to be answered in the next while. Does he have what it takes to really deal with the key problems inside the party, or the key problems that are blighting the party around state capture, corruption, dealing with the poverty and inequality levels in the country? All of these things are really going to test his ability to lead, to be a negotiator, and to get everyone on his side.